Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Now, I'm going to get you to the video review here in just a second, but I wanted to tell you about this really cool new channel that's really got me excited. It's done by none other than Shaquille O'Neal, the one and only Big Diesel himself, Shaq. That's right, he started his own YouTube channel and he's got some amazing stuff coming out for it. It's really cool to see a lot of celebrities kind of get into the YouTube thing and really have a lot of fun with it, and Shaq is no exception. This dude knows how to have fun, and he knows how to make fun of himself in a way that is really entertaining. Now, this new channel is full of original series sort of stuff, including collaborations with top YouTubers, making for some rather hilarious bits. But don't take my word for it. Listen to Shaq.
In the coming weeks, we'll be launching some new and exciting programming on Comedy Shack. Stand-up comedy, original digital series, sketch shows, animation, and more. We've collaborated with some very talented YouTubers such as Glozell Green, Daystorm Power, Timothy De La Ghetto, and David Spates. You also get to hang out with me, the Big Diesel. I'll be shooting and posting personal videos and creating an ongoing series where I'll let you in the inside of my world and answer some questions from my subscribers and fans. Welcome to the Comedy Shack. Your TV just got funnier. Trust me, I'm a doctor now.
So, without a doubt, guys, I would absolutely appreciate it if you would check out the channel, subscribe to it, and have fun with it, because Shaq is a hilarious dude. But that's about it, so now, on with the review. With another video review. And thanks to the folks at AcesToyStore.com, today we'll be taking a look at AM-19, Gaia, I don't know if I'm saying that wrong, but Unicron. The iconic character finally visits us again in a new continuity with Transformers Prime, and Takara Tomy has been very nice to give us this figure. Now, as of right now, this is a Takara Tomy only exclusive. So that basically means if you want this guy, you have to import him or get him from a site like Ace's Toy Store, Big Bad Toy Store, TF Source, places of that nature, obviously Kapow Toys. But this is actually something that I've really been looking forward to. It's really large for a Voyager figure. The packaging on here is big. Now, you flip it around here on the side, and this is kind of a gimmick that I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to show this off very well. Unicron actually combines with Optimus Prime from the RID line as well as Megatron, so we'll see how that works. But you can come down here and arms micron technical data, HP, SP, AP, I don't know what any of that means really, but flip around here, and I'm assuming this is Unicron's tech specs because it's 10 across the board, so very cool. Then you see his flying thing mode, a face volcano mode. I actually watched my buddy Deadman, I'll put a link down here, it's my buddy Manny. He did a review of this, and it basically showed off like he transforms into a face of himself, and then you see Unicron there. With the brown hair on the back, you see that he can combine and all that stuff. I can't read any of this, so I can't tell you what any of it means, but I'm excited. It's Unicron. Let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Unicron opened up out of its packaging, and in his volcano mode, I guess that's really what it's kind of being dubbed as, mostly because it kind of looks like it's a mountain or something, and obviously you've got the face of Unicron right there, which kind of replicates him coming out of the volcano slash mountain. I guess I'm going with it. I mean, that's really what it kind of looks like. The other thing is he's got this mode, which is, I'm assuming, some kind of a fighter jet, I guess. Honestly, this is a figure that shouldn't have a mode. This is like Scorponok from the original movie. This is like Ravage from the Revenge of the Fallen. This is a figure that really does not need an alternate mode. They should have kept it simple and basically just made a really awesome kind of standalone figure to give to us. Now, he does come with an armed Micron thing. You got a nice Decepticon logo there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. It kind of looks like a tank. I mean, these kind of look like tank treads. again, I guess you can transform them into this, and this will come in handy later on as it basically becomes like another arm for Unicron. But one thing that's cool, or really not cool, is unless you got this guy propped up against something, the mountain tumbles. Whee! I'm Unicron, and I can't stand up as a mountain. So they got these little holes on the back here, these little peg sort of things. I don't know if they actually serve a purpose, but you got all these holes on here. I will stick that right in there, and boom, now you can stand them up. There you go. So you don't have to have him propped up against something. If you're ever going to display him in this mountainous volcano sort of mode. One thing that is ridiculously awesome is his face. That is ridiculously awesome looking. I love the green eyes, the detail on there. You can see a really nice paint job on there. That is very, very cool. Keeping somewhat zoomed in, you can also see that there is a nice kind of gold copper kind of chrome on the side here. You got it on this side as well, and you also have it up here. We'll get to that here in a little bit and why this is probably a bad idea, but the look of it is really cool. And then you got these giant dangly things, which, ooh, it's scary. But really, that's about it. Like I said, he's a really bad mountain, I guess, and it's definitely underwhelming, if you ask me. Now, to transform them, again, it's kind of simplistic and very underwhelming. You just untab these, and you want to be very careful when you're doing this. And the reason behind this is because these chrome bits, the kind of copper chrome, is all made out of that material, like a chrome. It's not plastic or anything, making this a very brittle kind of material. And over time, I'm very worried that these little bits right here, because as you can see, the plastic tabs into it as part of the transformation. Over time, I'm worried about actually making this fragile and making this fall apart. It's something that only time's really gonna tell. Now, I lowered these, you don't have to do that yet, but bring these down and around, well, kind of straighten these all the way out, make that. It really feels like it's going to break here, but it's not, don't worry. And then rotate that around, do that on this side as well. It's kind of a pain, there we go. Get that all the way around just like so. And then these bits right here, they untab, and then they come all the way down. I'm going to extend this all the way out for you. This is a really stiff ball joint here. You can see two little holes on the inside here that these tab into. Then initially when you transform him, he's going to be tabbed into just one of them. You want to bring it all the way down and then tab this tab and this tab into the holes on the bottom side. Well, first fold these feet out, because otherwise it makes it difficult to do, and then just push that in there and lock that into place. So on this side as well, fold down the foot. You're going to untab this from this side, and again, this, it just makes me nervous that this is going to fall apart and really be very brittle. Historically, this chrome plastic has always been very brittle on any kind of action figure, so you want to be careful with it. And then push that tab in there like so, then bring them around, and here you have, oh, well, you have Unicron's leg detached up here. Here, get that in there. And rotate that around. There we go. His leg detached. That's bad. And then here you have his legs pretty much done. Coming up to the top, just take this section, fold this down. You can split these. And again, you have to be careful with this, because already you can see just from transforming them and separating it, there's already a stress fracture forming. That's not going to last long at all. So transforming this guy where you're actually bringing these two parts together is causing this bit to actually break. These are very bad design choices for this figure, and they're using these a lot more lately, and that is just really pretty terrible. I mean, you can see that that's not going to last too much longer. In fact, yeah, that's just terrible. So then what you need to do here is rotate these bits down, rotate these out like so. This section here is going to fold up and under, and then you have two little holes or I'm sorry, 2 little tabs here and here that need to slot in 2 holes here and here. So just fold that down, give that a nice little push inside there, and that's not lining up very well. There we go. Push that in, kind of rotate these around into the back. Here's his head, and as you can see, it was like this. You need to actually rotate it up, or at least the helmet, and then push it down, and then rotate these, and here you have the immortal, the evil, the amazingly awesome looking Unicron. And this robot mode really does grab you as being a nice representation of Unicron. Now, like I said, his arm micron, I'll show this off here in a little bit, but what you basically have, like I said, is another arm. Now, these little bits right here, it does kind of suck if you leave these on. This is kind of ugly. It really only kind of looks good from this side, but when you're using articulation and stuff, that goes all the way up. If you rotate it around the other way, it doesn't. That's as high up as it goes. So you really almost have to keep it like this to keep his elbow joints kind of working, which is kind of ugly, if you ask me. As you can see, he does have the stickers. You got some Decepticon logos there, and then you got some detail here in his feet, which really that's about it. Now, oddly enough, on his sticker sheet, he comes with all these other stickers, but I can't find anywhere on the instructions to show you where to put those. So I don't know what you're supposed to do with those guys. And then in this area, you got some of these kind of black stickers as well. This kind of reflective black sticker, I guess. Really very cool looking. I love the way that looks. Generally speaking, though, I love this look on this figure. I mean, this really, and then you've got his face here in the back. The look on this is just absolutely Unicron. I think it's so very cool. Now, in terms of a size comparison, I know a lot of people are going to be curious, how does he look next to some of the characters? Well, here's Unicron. Here you have him next to the RID version of Megatron, and when you compare them head to head, Unicron is a little bit taller. It's kind of hard to see with his shoulder bits right in here. He is a little bit taller than Megatron, which really kind of works. I do like that, but when you look at it, his head looks really kind of tiny compared to Megatron's. Then you bring in Optimus Prime and getting Megatron out of the way, you can see that Unicron is about the same height taller than Optimus as Unicron is to Megatron. So size-wise, I really dig that Unicron is bigger. And then you can see that just the mass of him really kind of makes him a lot more full looking of a character. I mean, he is kind of small around here. That's not too bad. His legs, though, are massive and really does give a very powerful look towards this character. Zooming in, though, you can see his face is really very cool and creepy looking, and I'm using my new macro lens to kind of show that off. I love the way that face looks, and then you can see the chest has that gold bit going through it. Really nice detail. There's the sticker set that comes with him coming down to his legs. More nice detail all the way through. This is a very sharp looking figure and awesome character. You really would expect Unicron to be kind of massive and a larger than life character, and I really think that this figure does a good job of recreating that, at least here in the robot mode. The various alternate modes are really kind of lame. Now, I'm gonna do this, but I'm really kind of nervous about it. What you can actually do is these arms just kind of peg in, and you can detach both of them. Then you can bring them together, and again, you're supposed to latch them together, which makes me very nervous about this bit right here. You gotta really push it in there, and it's making me nervous. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. And then you can fold this closed. I'm sorry, tuck this down and in. You can fold this closed, and these all peg together, and you can create a much better looking arm for him on one side, and then just plug that right back in. That's very cool. I love that. I wish he had 2 of them. That's just really awesome. And then you take this gimpy little thing, and you can see the peg right here, and it just fits right in there, just like the other one. And now he's got this other arm, which it's not bad, but I really wish we would have gotten 2 of these. And then, you know, it can kind of bend here, it can rotate. This little bit here moves, so you got a little finger. As for the rest of his articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion, but it is kind of limited. The shoulders here are on ball joints, so they move in and out all the way around. It bends here, like I said, at the elbow. This really isn't a hand, but that can kind of sort of flex if you want. Same thing with this side, it also rotates and everything, but I just love the way that this looks. That is just so much cooler and massive of an arm, and it works better. Nothing at the waist. The hips here are on ball joints, so forward and back, in and out. They also rotate here at the upper part of the thigh. He bends at the knee, but really not much. Here, lock that into place, actually. But that's as much movement, really, as you're gonna get in his knee. So not a lot of range of motion there. And then the feet have a little bit of pivot, but just as part of the transformation. Now, this figure, the biggest problem with it is that, number one, he is a Takara only exclusive, which means he is extremely expensive. Because he's a Voyager, he's also more expensive. This guy is roughly around $60 or so, and honestly, I cannot recommend picking him up for that price. He's a great looking figure, and he's wonderful to add to your collection, and if you have the money to do so, I would add him. But understand that really you're buying a figure that really is going to pretty much just stay in this mode. Now, I'm not even going to bother showing you the combined mode because I think it's atrocious. I think it's absolutely hideous and stupid looking. If you want to see it, go ahead and click right in here. Click in this area. And that's going to take you to my friend Manny's YouTube page where he actually reviews this guy and shows you how to combine them. I'll also put the link down in the video description so you can check that out. But I'm not going to bother showing you that because honestly I think it's dumb. So to transform him back, just take this, separate that. Now I'm going to take this off. Now you don't have to remove these, but separating these is kind of a pain in the butt, especially since my fingernails are not very long. So once you get it separated, take this, bring this back up like this. I'm not going to separate it to do it, so just take this whole section here. Well, zoom up so you can see a little bit better. Separate this chest piece, which is kind of difficult to do. You kind of got to get it on the sides and really kind of pull this forward. There we go. And then fold the head down, fold this all the way out like so. You're gonna bring these in, fold these up just like so. And then these, like I said, you don't have to detach these if you really don't want to. A lot of reviewers, for some reason, always detach them. You don't need to do that, but you'll have to bring them together and you have to clip them together, which could again stress that. So be very, very careful, guys. And then you just want to kind of fold this up, and we'll worry about that here in a second. These little bits here, again, put the head where it's down like so. Rotate these around. This is pretty much how this is going to be for that. Then these legs, separate these from the side pegs. Again, being very careful because this could be very brittle. Fold this out like so, come around here, and then you want to angle this as far in this way as you can so that you're able to line up that one hole on the bottom and that peg at the top. So boom, line that up, get that in place just like so. Do that on this side as well, being very careful with that. Fold this up, tab that in. It's hard to see on the inside here. There, I think I got it. Well, did I get it? Yeah, there we go. Fold the foot down like so, and then really what you do here is rotate these legs around, separate this, rotate the leg around, trying to keep the ball joint section here at the top so that you can still get it to rotate all the way around. So you want to keep it where you have the exposed, it's hard to see, the little exposed ball joint there, and then bend this. You're bringing these up like so, and then again just bring this down so you can see. You're going to take this little tiny tab and notch it on the side right inside there. And again, it makes me really nervous. It really does, because this has, as I said, historically been very fragile sort of material for them to use. And if you don't have it lined up right, you could stress it. There we go. And then these little bits, you're going to see little tiny holes, I'm sorry, tabs here and here. They're going to pug in here. Pug in? They're going to pug in there. Sure. We're going to pug them in. There we go. Get that all the way up. Lock that into place like so. And then, like I said, if you want to, take this little doodad, fold that down. And that came out. There we go, push that out of the way in. Put that there, and boom, you have a little stand for them. Kind of position these however you really want them. These little bits here are on very rubbery bits, and here you have them. Unicron back in his volcano mode, and I actually forgot lift this little bit up. That's the peak of the mountain. Now, I mean, honestly, I do really kind of dig the way that this guy looks. This isn't going to do much for you unless you have one of the huge original versions of Unicron. And if you want, you can do something like this and make it look ridiculously goofy. There's Unicron with a big, weird head dress on him. And really, this sucks, because all it does is just sit there. You just balance it and sit it there. It doesn't peg in or anything. You're just resting it on there. So unless you plan on actually displaying it like that, this is completely pointless. It's neat looking, sure, don't get me wrong. It definitely isn't a mountain though. This is just a blob. The transformation is ridiculously simple. It's almost kind of pointless in the grand scheme of things. But the robot mode really does look good. Overall, really, is this a figure that's worth $60? No, it really isn't. Unless you're one of those people that need to have a Unicron in your collection, this just really does not do it. If you can find it for a lot cheaper than $60, I would definitely pick it up. $30 to $40 might be doable if you ask me. But $60 and above just really pushes this out of a lot of people's price range, and for me, it's not worth that much, despite how cool it really does look in its robot mode. So I hope that helped you guys out, and until next time, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.